This is what the patriarchy looks like. Men, women. Now, a lot of men seem to think that when women try to build ourselves up and say we want more rights, they think that instead of doing this, we're doing this. They seem to think we're taking rights away from men so that they're going to be down at our level, when in fact, what we're trying to do is gain rights so we're up at your level. You see how you stay here? You don't lose anything by women gaining things. Other people's success is not your failure, all right? Let us move up. By you yelling at us for wanting to be the same as you really shows your oppressive nature and the fact that you don't think we deserve everything that you have. So, do you want to keep it to yourself? You aren't losing anything by us gaining something. So shut up.
I find it absolutely hilarious how the most privileged individuals on the planet will still find the time in their day to sit down and make a video complaining about how they have a lack of rights. You know, you ever ask these people what rights are afforded to men that are not afforded to women, and they can't think of anything. Okay, these people are absolutely clueless, man, and they want to sit here on a video and complain about, you know, their rights. Oh, my rights, as if they're not free to do anything they like. These are the types of people who will sit there and complain about the wage gap, even though it's been disproved since the 1960s. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be going through a bunch of TikToks and a bunch of stories. But before we do, gentlemen, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord and the locals links in the description if you haven't already. And yeah, we're just going to kick right into this one. Oh yeah, and leave your thoughts as we go through, gentlemen, to any particular video that you find interesting.
The woman's world, so to speak, pussy you sour, never giving credit where it's due, cause you don't like pussy in power. Venom.
Him at 13 putting men in place, fighting kids at recess for being S3Xist, and being more of a womanist than I could ever be. Gentlemen, this whole womanist ideology, it is incredibly dangerous. I'll be honest with you. And you see, the men who adopt this kind of thing, right? The oh yeah, I'm going to protect all women. I'm going to stand up for women because women are oppressed. First of all, women are not oppressed. Second of all, any man who does that, you guys do that thinking that it's going to make girls like them more, right? Because that's what men are taught, right? Side with the women and they'll like you. Right? So give people what they want, be on their side, tell them how fantastic they are, and the girl's going to turn around and like you. Girls do not respect male womanists. They absolutely do not.
To the men who like watching sport, but not the female version of it. Maybe you don't actually like sport. Maybe you just like watching half-naked men run around playing with balls.
Yeah, or maybe the women's sports are not as entertaining. Right? Like, I love how it goes straight to the shaming language, right? Of, oh, you must be interested in men in that particular way, right? It goes straight to the shaming language and the insults, right? When maybe women's sports are just not as entertaining, right? Maybe less people watch women's sports because they're not as interesting to them. But no, it's got to be right. You've got to attack the person and say something about the person that may or may not be true, right? It's like you've got to comment on someone's S3 actuality before you consider the fact that maybe women's sports just aren't watched as much because people don't find them as entertaining. And I will say as well, this lady right here, we've actually covered her a couple of times, I think, on the channel before. And like these videos, guys, as we go through them, you'll know that like you might be sitting there just pulling your hair out watching some of these things, and you might think to yourself, oh, there's no way that these videos could be popular, right? There's no way that lots of people could be watching these videos. This woman right here, I'm pretty sure, last time I checked, had hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, and people actually liked her videos. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Which insists that there is a biological connection between having a penis and the will to do violence.
One job that men have besides being a misogynistic asshole that women can't do, because if you're suggesting that women can't be in positions of power,
Alexa, remind me that I don't need a man and men are useless. When should I remind you? Every damn day.
I find it very funny, right? When you see girls who are interested in both men and women, right? They'll sit there and they'll complain about men, right? And say, "Oh, I don't like men. Women are better." But you'll notice they never seem to be in any sort of long-term relationship with a woman, right? Do you guys find that funny? You get all these girls complaining about, oh, how men are terrible, right? And then you got the girls who bat for both teams, shall we say? But you never see them with a long-term girlfriend, right? It's they dislike men so much, and yet they're the people that they deal with, right? It's like, man, these girls will sit in their room, they'll be crying all damn day about how a boy broke their heart, and they'll say how much men suck and everything like that, but yet they'll go out here and they'll continue to date. They'll continue to actively date men, and see multiple guys in a week off Tinder and stuff like that. It amazes me, it really does.
Oh, stop it and stop that music. Are you mad? Are you fucking stupid? On me or deluded? Is it a crack or the bee?
If lesbians can control themselves when girls are wearing revealing clothes, but guys can't, maybe the problem isn't the clothes.
You see, we're not going to do that because I hate all men, but enter whatever fucking song was playing is different because men oppress women. They oppress them. All women do to you is don't fucking date you.
Yeah, guys. Apparently, we're just oppressive. You know what I mean? They're having difficulty because they're being oppressed, and that's all we seem to do, right? And that, for some reason, is a valid excuse for disliking a whole group of people for some reason, right? Like, someone please make that make sense to me. Don't you think it's kind of sad that the phrase "I have a boyfriend" works better than "no" because most men still respect men more than "no" from a woman? Well, here's the thing, okay? It's very interesting that this girl brings that up, okay? Because what a lot of girls will do is they won't say no to a man, right? And they'll say it's because, oh, we don't want him to get mad, or oh, we don't want him to be weird. Do you know why a lot of girls won't say the word no? A lot of girls won't say the word no because they lose the free attention. You see, if every guy who hit them up on Tinder and hit them up on Bumble and Facebook Messenger and all that kind of thing, if she said no to those guys, well then where's the attention and validation going to come from? I mean, she'll say no to the ones who are genuinely annoying or who make it very obvious. So this is something you'll notice with girls who have guy friends, okay? We've all heard that before, right? What they'll do is say, oh yeah, he's just a friend, he's just a friend, he's just a friend, right? And then when that guy friend says, hey, I'm interested in you, she pretends like it's the most shocking thing in the world, and then she says she has to say no to him because it's socially unacceptable not to, right? But up until that point, oh, you better believe you'll get led on, and for months at a time, okay? Look, when girls say no, guys, just take it as a no. Obviously, if a girl's not interested in you, that's totally cool. All right, but these girls want to play the victim card of oh, we don't say no because we don't want to make a man mad, right? Or we don't say no because it doesn't work. It works, right? It definitely works, okay? But they don't want to lose out on the free attention a lot of the time.
That's some bullshit.
My pronouns are normal. Get it? Normal. The F in woman stands for funny. Get it? Because there's no F. Because women aren't funny. Did I ask? Because I don't remember asking. Is that a racial slur? You're killing me. Did you just fucking make fun of the military? That's not fucking funny. That's so disrespectful.
No.
I only got one word for that one. That's just some cringe right there, isn't it?
Not all men. But if I was to give you a box of chocolates where 1 in 10 of those was actually a chocolate-covered tiny little piece of shit, would you be cautious of the lot of them? For the love of God. We know it's not all men. We know it's not all sharks either. But you're still gonna swim to shore if you know there's one in the water. Do you realise how absolutely redundant it is when we mention our fear of walking alone at night because of men, and y'all scratch your tiny little 2 brain cells together and come up with, no, not all men are like that. Or, oh, but we get scared walking alone at night too. Yeah, why is that? Are you perhaps afraid of getting attacked by a group of men?
You gotta love how, when they make videos like that, they think that they're making a point, right? They think that they're actually saying something sensible, or it just shuts down the entire argument. But all it does, it does the complete opposite, right? that whole 1 in 10 men logic and, you know, one of them is going to be a piece of garbage, so obviously you don't deal with all of them. That is just such a such a terrible way to look at a group of people. And, you know, I could make many comments on what she just said there, many of which wouldn't be suitable for YouTube. But what I will say is this: that is a terrible justification for disliking a group of people or treating a group of people a specific way, right? And if you want to open that can of worms and, you know, go down that line, well, you've then these are the exact same people who dislike any form of discrimination as it is. Right, so it just makes absolutely no sense on all fronts, but they sit there and they think that they've actually made a valid point. It's crazy. Reasons why men are deserving of respect, and then she's just pointing to a whole group of nothing.
Castaways, we are castaways, or there, or we are.
I am fully convinced that men are not capable of caring for anything beyond the thing in their pants.
Our castaways, we're stuck where we are with no house, no car. Castaways, or.
This is the face, by the way. This is the face of a girl who couldn't get the relationship out of Chad. Right? These are This is the face of a girl who has just gone up to a situationship earlier in the day, and she's asked him, "So what are we?" And then he told her, "Oh, we're just friends, just hanging out." And now she's upset about it, right? And this is one of those cases where there would be men willing to date her, okay? But she's choosing to date the guy who is not interested in her. Now, obviously, we're just extrapolating from this, but it's a pretty safe bet considering what she's writing on the top of the screen.
No house, no car. Castaways, or.
Realize how there is no masculine word for a bunch of these words because men don't get shamed for having bedroom fun. Yeah, the reason why men don't get shamed for having bedroom fun is because it is actually it is different for men and women. Okay, you want to be a girl, you want to go to the club, right? You'll find any guy that'll be willing to have fun with you. But vice versa, hell no. You can't even get a relationship as a dude if you don't bring anything to the table. Okay, and now, am I complaining about that? Personally, I don't really give a crap, guys. But what I will say is this. Girls want to pretend as though it goes to their head, man, because what they do is they get on their social media, right? And they get so many compliments and so much validation and stuff like that. And then they want to turn it and try and flip the script on men as if it's the exact same and as if men are getting all this validation. Right? Men absolutely do not, okay? Men do not get relationships just because they exist. Men do not get bedroom fun just because they exist unless you're incredibly attractive right off the bat. And that's just the way it is, right? And there's the whole key in the lock example that we could go through, but let's continue with the video.
Being a woman is hard. You have no boobs? You better grow some. You have boobs. Cover yourself up. You have no ass, everyone will laugh at you. You have an ass? You better cover yourself up. You don't want to attract too much attention. You're short? You better wear high heels. You're tall? You cannot be taller than men. You're skinny? You better eat something. You're chubby? You better starve yourself. Otherwise, no one will find you pretty. Breaking news, you might as well do whatever you want because you'll be shamed anyway.
That is just not how things are, okay? You can be a girl in 2021 and people are going to call you beautiful even if you are, you know, the furthest thing from it. Okay, this whole body positivity stuff has gone incredibly far, so you can thank the womanism movement for that, okay? But, you know, we've gotten to a point, hey, where you can look however you want, nobody's going to make fun of you, and if they do, they're going to get, everyone's going to dogpile on them for being, you know, the M word and stuff like that, alright? This video reminds me of, there's always that one person in life, right, who will sit there and say, oh, well, they'll be like in tears, man, I can't do anything right. How come I can't seem to do anything right? And you look at their decisions, and it's because their decisions are crap. You know, it's like, it's not because the whole world is against them and because, you know, everyone doesn't want them to succeed. It's because their decisions are terrible. But they're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I can't do anything right. That's like the kind of sentence you hear from someone who cheats on their partner, right? And then they're like, oh, dude, I was just, you know, I can't do anything right. It's like, goodness me.
Being a woman.
You know, now that you've mentioned it, I've never even had the thought.
This says, hi, hope you're doing well. Quick question. Do you know what womanism... Do you know what does womanism mean? Have you ever searched up the definition? I really recommend that you do.
Come across my mind to look up the definition of feminism. No, I just talk about it and rant about it all the time. I've never even taken the time to Google it, so got me there.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, right? Most of these girls, when they talk about womanism, they'll cite their, oh yeah, it's about equality, right? Womanism is about equality. It's about caring for all, men and women. Dude, if you still believe that in 2021, I don't know what to tell you. That could not be further from the truth. Womanism is not about equality. It is about superiority. Okay, all these girls will sit here and they'll complain, oh, we need more rights, right? Men have more rights than us. And then you ask them what rights they're talking about and they can't list any. Like, I used to be a womanist. And let's see what's going on here. Then it snowed, and there's a dude shoveling the snow for her. Yep, sounds about right.
Instead of paying women the same as men, let's pay men the same as women and see how they react.
And that's the end of the video. Gentlemen, we're going to be jumping into a couple of stories here momentarily, but just to address this last point, man, the wage gap has been debunked since like the mid-1960s. Okay, it's been illegal to pay different based on gender since like 1963, 1964, something like that, right? It blows my mind, right? How thousands and thousands and thousands of girls will get on TikTok complaining about how they're getting paid less when they're just factually not getting paid less, and then you always hear the example. Oh yeah, well I work with a man and he gets paid more than me, and then you start asking them questions like, okay, does he work longer? Yes. Right? Does he work a different role than you? Yes. Right? It's the same thing every time, man. It's so disturbing to think about how we are at a point now, right, where there is so much information out there where you can just fact check this stuff, but yet girls will still be here thinking that it's reality and pushing that it's reality. It's just, my goodness, man, we're living in a bit of a clown world today, aren't we? But guys, we've got a bunch of stories that we're going to be looking at today since the video portion is over. Make sure you leave your comments and your thoughts as we go through, guys. It's always interesting to see what you have to say, excuse me. I know that a lot of times maybe I can be a bit too harsh on the videos, so feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you think. But we're going to be jumping into today's first story here, gentlemen, this is going to be a three-parter, okay? So this story comes in 3 parts. And it is on a man who is confused about his wife. So it starts with the title, Confused by Wife, and let's get into it. So me, a 37-year-old male, and my wife, who is 29, have been married for 3 years now and together for 5 years. We have had our ups and downs in the past, but I have never questioned her love for me ever. I was always her #1 priority, and I felt that. This past 3 weeks or so, she has grown very distant, very rarely wanting to spend any time together. For the past 2 weekends, she has arranged trips away, one to see family and one to an event from her hobby. On both occasions, I was lucky to get a text, and not once did I receive a phone call to say goodnight, which is not like her. In the past, when visiting family, I would have 3 to 4 calls per day with messages saying how much she misses me and can't wait for me to get home. I've asked her about this and she says everything is fine and her feelings for us haven't changed. She has admitted her head is messed up right now, but she doesn't understand why. It just feels like she had checked out of the relationship. Am I losing my wife? Now guys, like I said, this is a 3-parter, so we're going to see what happens in this man's life here. But, you know, obvious speculations aside, anytime when you get stories like this, man, of, oh yeah, my girlfriend, you know, normally she messages me, but for some reason, during this one time when I couldn't reach her at nighttime, it's like, man, what do you think is happening? And these are the types of situations, okay, where men will just get shamed and gaslit into believing that, oh, you know, if you look into it, you're insecure. Right? If you feel like your wife is doing something, you know, out of the ordinary, then you're just insecure. Guys, I will say this, don't go digging through people's phones, don't go looking for this kind of stuff, okay? But if you've got a gut feeling, right, if you're sensing this sort of stuff, don't let other people shame you into the idea that you shouldn't be you're insecure for thinking that way. Men have this gut instinct for a reason, okay? Don't let people be shaming you into thinking that it doesn't exist. But let's crack into part 2 here. Quick recap, my wife was away for the weekend for one of her hobby groups. Group consists of mainly guys, some even married. While away, she was very distant, no usual messages or calls, and left my messages to her unread, even though she was online and didn't return my call. We're going to come back to this as well. Heard from her the next day at 6 a.m. by text. Now to update. Once home, I explained it to her how I have felt that we have drifted apart, and I feel like I am a big cause of that by not showing interest in her hobbies, prioritizing her, and spoiling her a little more. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife and do make a fuss of her. I guess our marriage is falling apart. I realize I could have done more. Gentlemen, please do not fall into this trap. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about, like, and it's something we talk about on a lot of videos, okay, where men get it in their head. Oh, I didn't do... She's doing all of this this out-of-character behavior because I'm not investing enough in her. Maybe if I just bought her more stuff and showed her how much she meant to me, then she would be more invested. Right? This is often the complete wrong way to think. Girls will bring up this stuff. They'll start saying, "Oh yeah, well I just didn't feel loved," or I don't feel good in this relationship anymore. It's all bullcrap, man. It's you as a guy, right? Don't go thinking, "Oh well, if I just put more into the relationship, I can fix it." Putting more into the relationship, guys, I'm telling you, oftentimes will break it. It'll do the complete opposite to what you think it is. Too many guys are out here trying to save their relationships by taking their girl on dates and buying her stuff and making her number one priority. I will tell you this, gentlemen. No matter how many times a girl sits there and tells you to your face, "I would like to be your number one priority," it is a lie. Because if you go off and you do that, watch your relationship disintegrate. Well, let's continue. Where were we up to? Excuse me. Blah, blah, blah. I told her I'd like to start to come meet her friends with her, show interest and have a part in what clearly is a big part of her life. She was hesitant on this and said I was welcome to just some of her local daily meets. Yeah, these daily meets that he'd be welcome to are the ones where the dude that she's obviously with is not present. Now, I'm not the jealous type, and I don't believe anything physical happened on her last trip with anyone. All her previous meets, she has gone on her own by doing her own thing, and it has not been an issue. But we were happy then. Now, with being distant, constantly on her phone, actually making very little time for us to watch a movie or go somewhere, I grow insecure. I have said I will do anything she wants to close this gap that has grown between us. I have asked if she wants to keep her hobby to herself, as she has expressed that it's fine, but I'm not comfortable with the overnight hotel stays. So she's having overnight hotel stays because of a hobby. Yeah, interesting. There's even talk of then camping all together in one tent, which will be maybe 4 guys and her and another girl. I've asked on these trips could I attend. Other people out of the group take their partners, as there is always a drink and a bit more of a party afterwards. She has flatly refused and said no, that I'm only wanting to come because I don't trust her now. Right? How's that for how's that, okay? The girl says you can't come because you don't trust me. Yeah, absolutely. These are the kind of mind games and BS, right, that men will get themselves into. And a lot of guys will be in this situation and think, oh, well, like, why would my partner do something to this to me? You see, guys, we grow up in, I'll be honest, right? A lot of men, I think, are trained to be incredibly naive to this stuff, right? Always put the woman first, do what she wants, show you that she cares, because, you know, girls are sugar, spice, and everything nice. And then guys get into a situation like this, and they're completely dumbfounded at the end of it. Let's continue. And let's see where we're up to. Well, I explained that yes, I am insecure for the first time in our marriage due to us losing that connection. I explained that she also didn't help by the fact by not trying to message or phone once and leaving a text by myself on read, just asking if you're okay, and maybe me coming to the first few will put my mind at rest and we're fine. This guy's grammar is, I think he's on mobile, he said. She has made it clear that I'm socially awkward and I would ruin it for her. The awkward part is true, but I try. Now, this is going to cost our marriage. She plans to move out next week if I don't agree to her nights away on her own. Will be a weekend every 2 months or so. I've spoken to friends and family and they don't believe I'm asking too much. Man, the girl is, she's not saying it, right? But she's obviously just cheating on the guy. And then she's trying to say, oh yeah, I want to go and see Chad. You know, what was it, once every 2 weeks or something like that? Oh yeah, I gotta go see Chad. And if you want to keep our marriage together, you're going to have to accept that. That's crazy. But let's move into part 3 and see what actually happened. Alright, so yeah, he was on mobile. Wow, what a day. Okay, after what happened in the previous update, I will admit I have seen a glimmer of hope. My thought process was why she was willing to work on us if she was cheating, so said we would try to make it work. Even give the notice on our house, rented, so we could move to be closer to her family. That made very little sense. This guy's grammar is not fantastic. So Thursday was super busy after work. She was in the process of buying a dog visits and whatnot until it was of an age to come. I went along, met the dog, and said I would pay the next installment for her and then we would go half for the rest. The breeder is a friend of hers, so said fine, take it home now and we will have a contract to pay the rest. Fair enough, new dog. So it looks like they got a new dog. Once home, she was messaging one of her hobby guys and invited me along. We would meet up with him and his wife. Okay, I'm invited now. On to Friday, she is messaging this guy a lot now, hiding her phone, any excuse to be in a different room. Her excuse why they're messaging each other is because they will be doing a joint project together soon. Her hobbies is reptiles. Would be a breeding project. Still isn't sitting right with me, but I say, okay, let's see how this plays out. We speak again about phone time when we are together. Then Saturday, the day starts great. Still some phone time, but not as much. Go out for food. Sleep together, everything seems to be going in the right direction. Late afternoon, she gets a message. This message makes her upset. I can see she is fighting back tears. She says it's her anxiety and sit with her. What is this? And sit with her. She says she needs a lie down and a minute on her own. When she's back, I ask, is your heart still in this? She says, I don't think so. I ask, is there anyone else? And she says no. I give her a rundown with what I thought had happened over the last 2 weeks, and she flatly denies it. Now isn't from this area and moved here to be with me. The only place she has to go is her family member over an hour away. Let's move this down so you guys can see. This is important as if I want answers, I need to get them now as potentially we would not see each other again. No biological children, etc. So I make my decision and take her phone, technically mine, in my name. I pay for it. She flips and I can see the panic. She tries to fight me for the phone. I leave it in the car. Okay, so the findings. You'll remember from part 1, the first weekend when she went to visit family. She told me she was going to stay an extra night. I've seen instead she got a train down to the guy and booked a hotel. Invoices are on her phone and her family knew and covered. Wow, so not only was this girl seeing a guy in hotel rooms, right? Her family knew and was covering for her. That's crazy, man. Second weekend, she had a hotel booked for the event, anyone, and went with this family member, so all good, she's not going to cheat while she is there, surely. First thing in the morning, the family member messages her, where are you? She says, I'm not in the same hotel. Family member says, oh, with the guy. She says yes. Obviously, I have the pictures and messages showing everything. By this time, I've seen what I needed to see and am returning home. When I get there, she's gone. Left everything. Her family must have collected her, I think. I texted the family member, can you ask her to text me? She left her new dog here. Family member says, sure, hope everything's okay. No family member collected her. The guy drove 8 hours, left his wife and 3 children and came to collect her, and the effers have ran away, laughing as I type this. Now the serious part. Do I tell his wife? Wrote the message out a couple of times and let it sit when she messages my wife's phone asking can they talk. I message saying it's me and I'm guessing she's asking the same questions I was. She calls me and I give her all the details. Obviously heartbroken, it was a tough call. We spent a good few hours on the phone talking and piecing things together. For those worried about the dog, I have spoke with the dog breeder and he is getting returned today. What a crud show. My thought process is maybe they decided to just be friends and their marriage, so invited me and his wife out for dinner. Or maybe the fact they invited us would throw off the scent. And yes, you told me so. Goodness gracious me, gentlemen. You know, this is one of those situations, okay, where everyone would be telling this guy, oh, you're just insecure, right? You're looking too much into it. Why would you don't look too much into it, okay? This man's wife was booking hotels with another man, okay, lying the entire time. Her family was covering for her, right? It's just goodness gracious me. Gentlemen, we're going to leave today's episode there. Make sure you leave your thoughts and comments to the stories and the videos that we have watched today. Always interesting to see what you have to say. If you disagree with anything I've said, gentlemen, feel free to do so. That is what the comments are for. A bit of a rushed video today, but we're going to leave it there. As always, make sure you come and join the Discord and the locals, links in the description if you did enjoy, guys. If anything happens to this YouTube channel, because as we all know, YouTube is not a fan of channels like this, you will be notified through the Discord and through locals. So make sure you come and join both of those links. Both of those are free. But we're going to call it there. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next video. Peace.